Good evening and welcome to I'm Chris Parnell.
Reporting from Moscow.
Tbilisi, Times Square.
May your dreams be your only boundaries in life.
Hello and welcome to GHS-TV's award-winning talk show, Crosstalk. I'm your host, Kaif Gilani, joining you from our studios on the campus of Germantown High School. On today's show, we are going to speak with dietitians across the Mid-South who will discuss various diet plans and why they are necessary. Later on in the show, we will be joined by professional trainers from CrossFit Triad and Bikram Yoga. They will talk about the different approaches you can take when it comes to dieting and also the exercise opportunities offered at both Bikram Yoga and CrossFit Triad. But first, we will meet with Dr. Star Cheshire and Dr. King to talk about varied diet paths. Welcome, Dr. King, Dr. Star.
Thank you.
So tell us, what does your job entail as dietitians?
As a dietitian, we're trained to be nutrition professionals with a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, an internship, and a lot of experience. And we try to help people change the way they think about food, not to consider a diet, but a change in lifestyle. And many times we do ask them to go and do some exercise and try. It's not something that can be changed overnight. And we do, dietitians work in hospitals, outpatient, have their own practices, and do many things. So your degree will give you a variety and open many doors.
And I am a chiropractic physician with a specialty in functional and orthomolecular medicine, and I also work with a lot of nutritionists and dietitians as well. Really to combat inflammation, we do a lot of things for such as pain relief, and really trying to combat, which is the core of a lot of pathologies, inflammation.
Okay, so why would one want to work with a dietitian? You know, what are they looking for? Something to, a healthy lifestyle, or trim down, get healthy? What's the motivation?
A combination of all three, where in order to do exercise, well, you need to be following certain dietary needs. If you're on a special diet, if you're a diabetic, you need to watch the carbohydrates, the proteins, and the fats that you consume. And once you're doing that well, the disease process slows down quite a bit.
Again, it's been said that your food can either be your best medicine or your most toxic waste chemicals. So that's a good illustration. But we are what we eat. We have building blocks, and what happens is whatever we consume, then your cells, that's how you're going to grow. So
are there any foods that either one of you would recommend not consuming or avoiding, no matter what you're looking for?
No, every food is a good food taken in the right quantity, except if you're on a special diet because you have a disease, then you might have to avoid it. But I usually tell people in the right size portions, anything is acceptable.
Okay.
There's a lot of other products out there like artificial sweeteners, things like that aspartic acid, aspartame, for example, when it's heated to a certain level, turns to formaldehyde and cause a lot of things such as headaches and visual disturbances. So there's a lot of things that you want to stay away from. A lot of the processed stuff is really bad as well, but food in the raw, in the way nature was designed to actually have them is always your best bet.
So you mentioned, different quantities of food. What about some foods that you can eat as much as you'd like? What are the healthiest foods that you would recommend?
The healthiest foods to eat in any amount are vegetables because they have the lowest amount of calories. Then would come fresh fruit, and then certain kinds of grains and whole grains would work out. You want to stay away from too much meat and too much fat, because it takes twice as much energy to burn them off. So you'd have to be at yoga for probably the whole day.
I agree that your plate should be very colorful. I love to have just assorted colors with a lot of veggies and fruits. It has a lot of fiber content, which helps aid with digestion and get some of the toxic waste out of your colon. And I also like some good fats. There's a lot of stuff like avocados and some really good things that you can actually eat, because in what I do with a lot of the nervous system problems, your brain is 80% fat, so you need to actually replenish some of those. So you need a wide array of different foods to actually help complement different things that your body actually needs.
Okay, so Dr. King, tell me, what are some foods that you would recommend for those who are actually trying to gain weight or bulk up? Because I know that's oftentimes something that someone looks for. They're trying to get bigger. What would you recommend?
I'd recommend eating more of everything, drinking more milk, maybe using whole milk for the extra calories, eating extra vegetables, maybe putting a little bit of oil on them. Fruit is the same amount of calories no matter what you do to it. And then eating a little bit of extra lean meat, not beef as much, but more chicken and fish. It'll help gain weight, bulk up, and then just maybe not exercising as much.
Oh, okay. And you mentioned that you also deal with patients who are who are having inflammation in them and whatnot. What would you recommend to help? What do you do to help fix that?
Well, some of the problems with inflammation is just a nasty toxic waste, so we have to get that chemical out of there. I love to do exercise and do some things to actually help combat that, increase the circulation. Okay. But there's things I love the specifically for cancer fighting foods, the brassica family, which consists of like broccoli and cauliflower. These actually have some chemicals in there that actually can combat those. And if you don't like the taste of that or the smell of broccoli, you could also use some other sprouts. Watercress, for example, it does the same thing. It has the indole 3-carbinol, which actually is found proven to actually fight that. There's things like the turmeric root, which is fantastic as an anti-inflammatory and antiviral agent. You also have bromelain that actually comes from pineapple. And one of the things about that's going to go down there and it performs like a COX-2 inhibitor, which is almost like an Aleve, but it basically blocks the inflammatory response. And of course, one of the natural things that we can do is take some omega-3s. The omega-3s like is in flaxseed and some wild-caught fish. A lot of times, fantastic as a natural body production. There's a lot of imbalance between the omega-6 and omega-3s. And omega-6 are a lot of the carbohydrates that actually produce that. So you have to actually take in a little more omega-3s, and that will actually help stop the inflammatory response.
So Dr. King, I see you've brought a book with you. Would you like to speak about it?
I brought a book. It's called A Slice of Life. It was prepared by many of the dietitians in the Mid-South area. And what we tried to do is we took favorite recipes and broke them down so that people would know what's in each food. And therefore you could make a reasonable choice rather than saying, oh, I can't have.
Right.
And if it's high in salt, you can decrease the salt. Any recipe can be changed for your lifestyle and for your disease.
Exactly. And now the last thing is that I'm going to ask you, oftentimes people say, oh, I'm on a meal plan, but I've gotten off of it, or I've had a hard time sticking to it. How do people usually lose track of this, and how can they get back on track and just stay on track?
You can, if you fall off a bike, you get back on. If you fall off a meal plan, you start slowly again and go back on it. It's not that difficult if you really want to do it. Or it may not be the meal plan for you.
Exactly.
You would have to look at it, see, can I stay on it? And if not, get some help to change it.
Right. Anything you'd like to add?
Yeah,
Suggestions?
just, I always tell people, don't get discouraged. I like it. I like the reward days. And you know what? If you do that, because everybody's going to cheat in some form or fashion, what I typically find. But if you actually do some of the things right most of the time, it's going to benefit you
in the end.
In the end, exactly.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Perfect. When we return, we will switch over to the physical side of dieting by speaking with personal trainers Isaac Christopher from Bikram Yoga and Anna Yambert from CrossFit Triad. Stay tuned.
Thank you, dear.
You make me feel so young.
Think young. Pass it on.
You make me feel so spring.
You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will live as one.
Make a difference. Pass it on. A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
Welcome back to Crosstalk. I'm your host, Kaif Gilani. On today's show, we are hearing about different types of benefits that proper dieting and exercising can provide. Isaac Christopher from Bikram Yoga and Anna Yambert from CrossFit Triad are with us now. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
So Anna, tell me about what CrossFit is, because I'm not very familiar with it.
Okay, well, in a nutshell, because we do a lot, so it's we concentrate a lot on functional movement. So we use functional movement that are movements that, if we get you strong in those movements, you can take those to the outside world, outside of the gym. So we don't want a huge bench press. We just want good form to be able to, like, you know what, when you're 80 years old, you can get in and out of your car without any aches and pains. So CrossFit is more not just so, let's get a six-pack, which, by the way, will be a side effect, but it's more about, okay, how can we use this fitness to equal health to carry you on?
So this is more of a continuous lifestyle.
This is to change your thinking about fitness.
Okay, that's very good. So tell me, Mr. Christopher, you do yoga, but is Bikram yoga a little different?
Bikram yoga is it's yoga.
Right.
We practice in a heated room. Bikram yoga is the original hot yoga series.
Oh, hot yoga.
Yeah, it's hot yoga.
Okay.
It was started in the 60s. It's over 50 years old. It's international. The room is heated to about 105 degrees, and there's about roughly 50% humidity. So you get a good stretch, you get a good sweat. The heat relaxes you so you can stretch safely, deeply, and it's a great, very sophisticated exercise.
And does the heat in the room, does that actually help you lose weight at all?
Well, you know, the heat is, like I said, designed to allow you to stretch a little safely and deeply. The sweating aspect, you may drop some water weight in your first few classes, but the sweating is mostly there for
flexibility.
Well, really to release toxins and waste from your body, and it gives you a good sweat.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell me, in both of your fields, what is the best warm-up before you begin your exercise?
His yoga.
Oh, okay.
Every hour we do yoga. So it's yoga and CrossFit actually complement each other very well. I know that people think they're total polar workouts, but
Right.
We actually do some static mobility and dynamic mobility, which is a lot of what he does.
Okay, so I'm assuming you don't need to warm up before a yoga session then?
No, we start off with a breathing exercise, and we do
Okay.
26 postures. So your first couple of poses are kind of warming you up for the rest of the series, but we always start with a breathing exercise. Getting connected to your breath and getting your body oxygenated is vital. Your body loves oxygen. Your mind thrives on oxygen.
Exactly.
So we start with breathing.
Perfect. So tell me, is there any foods that you would recommend eating before or after your exercises, and why?
We keep it very simple when it comes to talking about nutrition and what we do. Obviously, we don't want them to eat right away before they come work out. It's a high intensity workout. You know, eat 2 hours before. We stick to clean foods. We stick to fresh, clean foods. We first thing, no sugars. That's the number one of what we tell our clients. If we can just cut the sugar, and we can start from there. It's really not that complicated to get people on the right track. So, no process.
I think with any great exercise, it kind of pushes you towards developing better nutritional habits. You can't eat a pizza and then go and do CrossFit or yoga an hour later. So you're kind of forced to have to eat healthily so that you can go and participate and get something out of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now you mentioned the oxygen vitality part of your of yoga. So tell me, what benefits does that provide in your everyday life?
Oxygen?
No. The use of oxygen in the yoga.
The use of oxygen in the yoga. Well, in yoga in particular, the use of oxygen, we work on trying to expand your lung capacity. I don't know what the exact percentage of the amount of lung space that we use on a regular day driving a car or sitting talking on the phone.
But it's a lot less.
It's a lot less. So we teach you to use your 100% lung capacity so that you can breathe fully, again, because oxygen is energy. It's your life force. It's what keeps us alive.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So would you recommend CrossFit for someone who's trying to lose weight at all?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course. And we start, this is another thing, we start, and it varies with degree, not kind. So our workouts, you can work out next to my former football athlete.
Okay.
And then the housewife will be right next to him doing the same workout, yet they're modified and scaled. So I will scale their weights, I will modify their movements.
So you specialize the workouts for each person?
For each one. The workout is the same for everyone. So if the former athlete's doing push-ups on his toes, the housewife may be on her knees. That's just your most basic modification of a movement. But it goes to show you that anyone can do it, and it can vary by degree, not kind.
Okay.
And that just gives them the community where, like in yoga, you're doing it with a class, you're doing it together, you're doing the same thing. That goes a long way. So yes, the high intensity interval workouts is great for losing weight.
So let's talk about the personal training versus the group session. I mean, both of your businesses do offer separate opportunities, right? So how does it differ?
The group training it's that you start building that community, and you start building friends where they hold you accountable. So you alone will probably not give it that intensity than if you were next to your friend, and your friend's going and you're like, I can't stop. So it just gives them that little extra that most people, when they're alone, they just probably won't do.
Right.
So it's holding you accountable. That group atmosphere, that group community carries you a long way.
But then there is a benefit to personal training as well. What would that be?
Well, sometimes some people are just not meant to be in a group. I mean, there will be those people that just can't. So we do offer that personal trainer where, yes, you give them a little bit more attention. Of course, that's needed. You know, not everyone's built the same. Not everyone thinks the same.
Right.
So yes, that's available in a lot of CrossFit gyms and a lot of studios as well.
So now tell us, last question we'll do. Is CrossFit or yoga for everyone, or would you recommend it for a certain amount of people?
CrossFit is for everyone, and again, it's also a personal preference. It's designed to be for everyone, but you may not like it. It may not be for you, but our programming is designed, like I said, it can be modified and scaled to be for everyone.
How about yoga?
Yeah, it's for everyone. If you want to live a long and healthy, successful life, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, then yeah, absolutely. Anybody can do yoga.
Well, then why don't you teach me a little bit of yoga? How about that in the next segment?
I'm down.
All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
When we return, we are going to have a short yoga session with Isaac Christopher. Stay with us.
Tell me what can I do today?
Hey, let me get that for you.
Everybody needs a helping out. That ain't what it's all about. Tell me what.
Thank you, young man.
What can I
No problem.
What can I do today?
Courtesy. Pass it on.
I got it.
A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
Check it out.
When it gets cold, feels like the end. There's no place to go, you know I won't give in. No, I won't give in. Keep holding on, 'cause you know we'll make it through, we'll make it.
Welcome back to Crosstalk. I'm your host, Kaif Gilani. Today we've been joined by doctors and specialists on dieting and fitness. We've learned about the different effects that come from treating your body right and what they can have and the effect that they can have on you. And now we will learn about a few different yoga positions. So, Mr. Christopher, what will we be doing today now that we've done our breathing exercises?
Well, next we're going to stretch your spine. It's called half moon pose. We'll start with our feet together.
All right.
Heels and toes touch.
All right.
Bring your arms over your head sideways, palms together. Interlock your fingers, and then buck your elbows and bring your weight on the heels. But take a deep breath. Stretch up once more, and you bend your body to the right without bending your elbows or your knees. And as you bend to the right, push your hips to the left. All the way. You are trying to create a tremendous stretching feeling along the left side of your spine. Keep this leg straight.
Oh my gosh.
There you go. This is compressing the right side organs. Inhale, come up. Slowly and gently, come on up. Good. Keep your weight on the heels. Take a deep breath and bend your body to the left. All the way to the left without bending your elbows, without bending your knees. Now, this side, you're opening and stretching the entire right side of your spine and body, compressing the left side organs, the descending colon, the pancreas. Inhale, come up. Good. Now, we're going to do one more, first backward bend. Take a deep breath and drop your head back as far as it goes. Just let it hang there. And then pull your arms back immediately. Good, stay right there. Let your head hang there. This is opening the whole front side of the spine, the internal organs, and it's compressing the back side kidneys, and it's compressing the spine. Come on up.
Man.
Yeah, I know, right? Okay, bend the knees. Come on down front side. Place your hands here on the floor in front of you, and step on your fingers, all the 5 fingers. Keep this grip. Now I want you to pull your heels as hard as possible and stay right there. This is opening the entire back side of the body. The hamstrings, the low back, the total spine is stretching downward, and at the same time you're creating another compression for the front side organs. Inhale, come on up, all the way up. Arms and head together, and then arms down by your side.
Oh, I feel that. All right, so what's next?
Okay,
I'm ready.
Next is awkward pose.
Awkward.
Yeah, this posture is great for building tremendous leg strength and concentration and focus. Step to the right, hip width distance. Okay, just get them under your hips. Make sure your feet are straight, and then lift your arms up parallel to the floor. Good. Lock your elbows. Okay, suck your stomach in, and then sit down. Sit very low into the chair, all of the way down.
Gosh.
Sit lower. Good. Now lift your chest up and lock your elbows and keep stretching forward. You see how this can build tremendous leg strength over time? Your leg. Yep, it's a good stretch for the low back as well. And come up, please, all of the way up. Now, our highest point on the tippy toes, all the way up, maximum point. Then sit down on top of the toes. On top of the toes.
Oh my gosh.
You're balancing on the toes. You're gonna have the strongest feet in Memphis.
That's great.
A little bit higher on the toes. Change, come up, please. And then arms down by the side. That's awkward pose.
Okay.
It's a great leg building posture.
All right, let's do one more.
Let's do one more. Okay, the next pose. Let's get on the floor and do this one.
All right.
This pose is called Cobra pose.
Oh my gosh, I've heard of this.
Yeah, get your feet together, hands under the shoulders, and then using only your leg strength and back strength, I want you to lift your upper body up. A little bit. Look up to the ceiling. All the way. Keep your elbows close to the body and squeeze your feet back together. Good. Look up and change. Come down. That's Cobra pose. That's a good one for the back.
That's what I'm talking about. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Just a taste of what we do.
Okay, awesome. I loved it. So, whether you're in the gym or at home, everyone can benefit from the endless combination of diets and exercises that are available. Thanks to everyone at home for tuning in this week. If you'd like to learn more about our program, visit GHS-TV.org, where you'll find our live stream and video archive. And be sure to follow us on one of our many social media channels for news, updates, and behind-the-scenes extras. From the entire crew here at GHS-TV, we look forward to seeing you next time for another edition of Crosstalk.